Well, welcome back to Unstoppable TV, and welcome to a special thing that we're going to be starting here. That's going to be...
Hey,
How's it going?
how's it going? Hey, look, I'm ready to talk about the wise men.
The Wiseman?
Yeah, right?
No?
We're talking about the wise men.
No, we're talking about...
This is the countdown to Christmas, right?
No, this is the countdown to Resurrection Sunday.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Just drop it, why don't you? No, so welcome. This is going to be a special video selection for this week, and it's called the Countdown to Resurrection Sunday. So there's going to be a video out every single day. We're going to be talking about some events that happen right up until the Saturday, where we'll hit a certain one, and then that'll get us to Resurrection Sunday and what we're going to talk about in class.
Yeah.
So with that, we're going to start here. We're going to be looking at some of this. I'm going to be looking at some of this accounts from Mark, the book of Mark. But if you look before in John, it gives a little bit of a setup. So Jesus has come to a town called Bethany, and this is about 6 days before the crucifixion, the resurrection, and all that. 6 days before that happens. And he's come to Bethany, and he's at the house of Martha and Lazarus. And while he is there, a woman named Mary, that you get from Count of John, she takes a very expensive perfume that she has saved probably, like it says, a year's worth to get, because it is said that you can sell it for that much a little bit later in the verses. So she takes this perfume and she anoints Jesus with it while they are here. And so while she's doing that, some of the disciples were there, and they were like, why is she doing that? Like, that's wasteful. And Jesus talks here, this is Mark chapter 14, and this is verses 6 through 9. And it says, "Leave her alone," said Jesus. "Why are you bothering her? She has done a beautiful thing to me. The poor you will always have with you, and you can help them anytime you want, but you will not always have me. She did what she could. She poured perfume on my body beforehand to prepare for my burial. Truly I tell you, wherever the gospel is preached throughout the world, what she has done will always be told in memory of her." And so I think this is an awesome thing, talking about, she gave a very expensive, very important thing that she probably saved for a long time, and anointed Jesus with it.
Anointed his feet.
Yep, anointed his feet. And the Mark there, so she anointed his head as well. So she anointed him, prepared him for burial, as he says, because he knows that his time on earth is almost over. And
It's very interesting because, she does this, and then Jesus said that she's anointing him for his burial. And that's exactly what they did, is they would, whenever somebody died, they would wrap them up, and then they would put anoint like a perfume on them to keep them from like stinking really bad for the first little bit
right.
that they were placed in the tomb. And so I'm sure this was a weird picture for the disciples, because the disciples, it wasn't in their mind that Jesus is getting ready to be crucified and all that kind of stuff. Like, even though we see throughout every account in the Gospels, that somewhere along the way that Jesus is telling the disciples, hey, like, I'm going to die and be resurrected again.
Yeah.
Like, but every time he tells them this, the disciples are like, huh? What's this guy talking about?
That ain't going to happen. What are you talking about,
what's
Jesus?
What's this guy talking about? And so, it kind of comes to a shock to them when, like, the events start going down. So, at this point, when Mary does this, they're like, what is going on right now? Like, what is happening? Like, she's wasting this perfume on Jesus' feet, and it, like, I mean, that's like I think he's great. You know, like
Right.
you know, I believe he is who he says he is, but why are we putting anointing oil on him for? Like this is, or like perfume on him for? Like this is weird.
Yeah.
And then Jesus, you know, says like she's anointing my body. They're like, dude, you're still alive. Like,
Yeah.
what's happening? You know. And so it's a very interesting story to say the least. But you know, I think there's something so important. I don't even know if, you know, we don't get into seeing Mary's head in this story.
Yeah.
You know, if she knew in her head, like, oh, well, I'm anointing him because he's getting ready to, like, go. Like, she's probably just in her head thinking, like Jesus has just meant so much to her and has changed her life in such a profound way that this is like a way of pouring out her thankfulness and kind of a worshipful way,
Yeah.
you know, of Jesus. And so it's very interesting, like she's like pouring this out and everything, and Jesus is like, Jesus just says, you know, she's anointing my body for burial. I'm sure that totally took everybody by surprise, like when Jesus said this.
Yes.
You know, and even though this was perfume that was worth a day's wages, you know, she felt like Jesus was worth that.
Yeah.
You know, that this was something that she could have traded it in for a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a whole year's worth of
Wages.
wages, you know, but she felt like Jesus was worth that.
Yeah.
And so it's a very interesting story to start our
Countdown.
countdown to
Resurrection Sunday.
Resurrection Sunday. But yeah, I think the best. I think it's just the idea of like worship and kind of having that. That's always the way that this story has been equated in my mind. Is it's a kind of a worshipful story.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, definitely very interesting.
Yes. And so with that, that'll end our first day here on Countdown to Resurrection Sunday. Tune in tomorrow to pick up with the next big thing that's going to happen. And tune in tomorrow to find out what it is. So until then, we'll see you.